Yes.
Hi, this is Rujita from CineSpeak.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, Ruchita. How are you?
how are
I'm
you?
great. How are you guys?
Amazing.
Yes,
Good,
well,
good,
well, we're all
excited.
well.
Yeah,
Happy to
nice.
see your big, happy smile.
Thank you. So, my first question is, how was your experience while shooting this movie, Extraction? Each of you.
That's a very big question. Uh, it was elating experience. It was a experience of, when you're a kid, you watch all these big action movies like Rambo and all these things, and all of a sudden you're on a set and you are in Rambo. You used to always wonder how they did this or how they did that, and so one got an insider's peek at what uh, goes on, how they do these stunts, which we found out was actually by a lot of preparation. I think they prepped for a whole 3 4 months, and for the car chases, and and then for the action bit, we rehearsed for weeks so that it comes across great. So, and also working with an international crew with biggest filmmakers of our times, Russo brothers, and I think the breakout director in any genre, especially action, Sam Hargrave, working with these people who worked on the biggest, most popular, and the best films in recent past was always a relating experience. Being shot or looked at in the frame by Tom Siegel, who's looked at people in Usual Suspects to Bohemian Rhapsody over decades, and to be directed by action directed by all these people, and yeah, just to be on the set, I felt very international and elated about the entire experience.
Great. What about you, Razak?
I feel first of all it's been a dream come true because I mean dream turning into reality. Actually, I've grown up watching these kinds of films and watching Chris Sir. Um, so when I got to know that I'll be a part of such a large scale film like Extraction, I couldn't believe my luck. My heart skipped a beat because when I got to know that the director of this film is Sam Hargrave, and looking at his past work experience, and he's done a lot of stunt direction for mostly all the Avengers films. And I got to know there's involvement of Russo brothers, and Joe Russo has written the script. I was thrilled. I was thrilled to work with such incredible people, such fine actors, and Extraction has a superb team. Um, the director, the cinematographer Tom Siegel, the stunt team especially, we should be really thankful to them because they put their heart and soul into Extraction. I feel overall this has been a very, very good learning experience for me. I got to take back a lot of tips and techniques from Chris Sir, as majority of my scenes were with Chris Sir. He taught me the art of dialogue delivery, voice modulation, pausing between the lines, and he also helped me during my action sequences also. So it has been a fun learning experience for me, and yeah, I will always cherish working with such an superb talented team.
Yeah. And Priyanshu?
Definitely, as I mean, both of them are saying, it's something we will always cherish. It's my also like a first international, such a big scale production, an experience there. You get to learn a lot. You get to see how as he said, the prep is done. 2 to 3 months is taken just to make sure that one shot is looking good. The kind of discipline there is. I love that there are 200, 300 people on set, but everything is happening very peacefully. We are generally little loud people, but यहाँ पे सब कुछ बहुत peacefully होता था. So there was a lot of different kind of an environment which you learned and you saw कि this is how their films are made. This is how, as Ravi said, कि we used to watch Avengers and we used to watch all these big action, and now we realize this is that's how difficult it is. But for me, I think also for me, I realized something where I can take myself to another level of as me as an actor because I got to do a very different part. I got to do a very challenging part to get my stakes high and push myself. So I think it's all in all, you can say it was a wonderful experience, amazing experience, but something will stay with us for a lifetime and what very special one, I think, because it's my first, so definitely.
Yeah. A follow-up question to your statement, you are playing a role of a villain in this movie. So, How was your reaction when you got to know that?
I asked them 10, 20 times again and again. First of all, I was like, these are the same Russo brothers. Joe Russo is like my audition. He the one who made Avengers. And then Tess Joseph, who cast for us, she's like, yeah, yeah. And so I didn't, I later realized that it took me time to realize, oh, I'm the guy who's, done the extraction. I'm the guy who he's rescuing the kid from. And then when I got to know the rest of the cast, which is there in the ensemble, from India and from their side, I said, okay, now I'll have to push myself. Yeah? This is going to be a big challenge. I mean, you have to really do a good part and be convincing, be authentic, look like a gangster, and also be a little menacing. But yeah, I think something which surprised me, but also I think I'm grateful that I got to do such a thing in such early in my career.
Yeah. Randeep, you are known to, get into the skin of the character when you play one. So how was it portraying this role for you personally?
It was very satisfactory. I always feel that one could do better, but I don't see how I could do better action than this in this particular film. Uh, it was we discussed a lot of films, especially from the Western genre, me and Sam, and then we zeroed in on more, samurai-ish character and how we like create a difference between the beginning, middle, and end. And so all those things combined, and also with the action giving you a lot of physical impetus to feel the way a guy like Saju would feel. So all these things, as usual, I mean, I don't understand the terms getting into the skin of the character. There's a script that's given, and then there's a lot of discussions, and then there is a lot of trial and error, and then all of a sudden you do this, and then I think if you do it with enough concentration, that's enough.
Yeah, right. And Rudraksh, I have read few reports that you declined few films like Good News and one more. So, is it true that you chose this movie over the other movie?
It was not good news. It was Tanaji and the Gunjan Saxena's biopic. Um, I could not do it because the dates were not matching and they were clashing a bit. So yeah, the decision was taken by my mom, and yeah, it was. I feel it was good.
Okay, great. And Priyanshu, you don't have any action scene in the movie. So, do you wish that even you had to a chance to play some action scenes in the movie?
I wish, but I think that's what makes the character very, very interesting. And that's what gives him that power that he's not getting up from his seat. He's just ordering, he's just commanding, he's got army. And when you have 1,000 people to fight for you, why do you have to fight? That's that kind of thing. Let me just sit in
Yeah.
my AC hall and let me just look at food and just give orders. So I think that's how they've shown, right? He's like this prince, the kind of clothes I'm wearing, the amount of gold I'm wearing. He just orders, he sits in his mansion, in his office. So I think that anyway, just keeping him away from the whole action also gives him more power, and he's not dirtying his hand. I think that looked interesting, and I think we tried to play around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Randeep, there was this action scene with Chris Hemsworth. How was your experience doing that sequence? I mean, you had a lot of action scenes, but that particular scene, how was it?
Well, with that particular scene, you could not cut in between the shots, so you had to get the whole long sequence correct, and that was very strenuous, very hard. And me and Chris were, sweating and bleeding on each other and breathing on each other, and so it was a very intimate kind of a thing. Sam always says that you don't really get to know somebody till you fight them. So we got to know each other in that sense, somewhere deep inside. There's an understanding about each other. I felt he was a very chilled out guy. He'd bring in a lot of energy with his, Bose speakers in the morning. You know, he'll come in with a burst of energy, and throughout before takes and throughout the day, he'd be so full of, energy and always be physical. So it is a good equation. I think we uh, managed to have uh, a good, you know, aggression and pointed. It was good.
So this movie comes out as an action movie, but actually seems that there are some um, emotions and edges also to it. So what are your views on it?
What? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
It has
Um,
action and it has emotions. That's what you're saying, right?
yeah,
No, I think I definitely feel there's a lot of heart in the film. Everyone's got.
Yeah,
I was also saying in other interviews that there's a little father-son, mentor-successor kind of thing happening everywhere across with every
yeah,
character. You see an emotional graph with what Saju has with his family, him with his son, Chris, the way his Tyler looks at Ovi, and even with Amir Asif, the antagonist also has somebody who he mentors. So everyone's got a somewhere a father-son mentor successor kind of thread, which is very very good, which makes everybody real, and you see a human side of everyone apart from them just doing action and what the mission is all about. So I think that's what the film
yeah.
is high on action, and there is that beautiful thread of emotion throughout.
Yeah, Extraction has a lot of physically and emotionally challenging sequences. I mean, it's really fun. As Priyanshu said, there's a lot of father and son connection, and I like a very beautiful scene in the film that is you might have seen it. It's the safe house one where Obi cries and hugs Tyler. So that is a
yeah,
really very emotional connect, and that changes the film, I feel, and it holds a very special place in my heart. It speaks about the volumes of Tyler's and Obi's unexpected journey and the unique bond that is formed with every sequence that they have together. So yeah, everybody in this film has a specific connection with all the characters, I feel.
yeah. So thank you. Those were all my questions. Thank you for your time and have a nice day.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Take
Take
Well, I
care.
care.
hope everybody
Bye.
enjoys this our big action flick with a bigger heart on the 24th Netflix.
Yes.
Yes,
Please do watch it.
yes, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.